No, we did not. Blame the pussycat. What are you doing? Squirrel is disassembling the office, people, and nothing is running right this morning. It's the end of 2023, and it's going out with a whimper and a complaint. It does not seem to be going out with any style. Azuren. I don't know if I said that right. Azuren. Yeah. Well, it is good that I'm glad that you are here. And Happy New Year to our Australian friends who are counting down the minutes to the end of 2023. You know what? I'm pretty happy about the end of 2023. Pretty happy about the beginning of 2024. This morning was off to a heck of a start because the internet didn't want to cooperate, and our internet service provider has just been going in and out. We pay these people a fortune. Hello, Boston, Sarah. Glad that you're here. So that kept me from doing all kinds of things. I'm reevaluating a bunch of stuff for 2024, and we'll be making some boat announcements. There's going to be some announcements about our server over on Discord. It's going to be coming out first of the year. We're rolling that out. So this in the next couple of days, we'll be talking about the Discord server. There'll be some tutorial stuff with that as well. All kinds of cool stuff happening for 2024. And you know what? None of it makes a fart bit of difference if you don't decide that you want to be a different person in 2024 than you were in 2023. Okay? The rest of it is all fun and games. We can do all kinds of cool stuff, and it's not going to do a thing if you don't decide you want to be a different person in 2024. People, I have deeply held religious beliefs. They are a very important part of my life. I speak about them on another platform. I'm very open about my religious beliefs on another platform. I am very open about it. Here, I don't share that much because I'm not trying to offend anyone who believes something other than what I believe. And somebody the other day put something up in the super chat that was directly out of the Bible. And you know what? I dig biblical verses. I really do. But I'm not a huge fan of verses from, say, the Satanic Bible. I'm not a huge fan of verses that come out of the Satanic Bible. I'm also not a huge fan of verses that come out of about 4 or 5 other religious texts that I don't happen to subscribe to. But if I'm going to let people put up the stuff that I do dig, then I'm going to have to let the people put up the stuff I don't dig, right? Or I'm a hypocrite. I don't intend to be a hypocrite. So as much as I am a firm believer in the Bible and I read it every day, I don't want people putting up super chats with biblical stuff in it, because if somebody just comes here for the first time and they're not a believer, and the first thing they see is a huge super chat with a biblical verse on it, they may walk away. And you know what? They might be a believer that just needs to get sober. Or they may believe in something completely different, but they're never going to get to that belief if they're getting high. I didn't get to my beliefs while I was getting high, right? So it's a hump situation, and it puts my wrenches in a bad position. It didn't really put me in one because I didn't even know what happened. But I'm doing this. I'm having this conversation for the person that was really upset about it. I understand why you want to put out what you believe. Start a channel. Start a Christian one. I might even come by and watch. But we have a very specific goal here on the boat, right? And one of those goals is to not scare away people who don't agree with me, right? So that's what we're gonna stick to on that. And you don't get bounced for it. What we say is very nicely, hey, you know what? Whether we believe what you believe or not, we don't allow that, put up. And when somebody sort of snaps back at you on that and treats you like crap, people, we should be able to communicate that, right? I mean, for the love of God, I believe the same thing he does. But if they're going to snap at my wrenches, guess what? You're gone, right? Don't snap at my wrenches. And especially don't snap at my kid or my, right? I promise you, if you get into an argument with my kid, you've lost the argument, even if my kid's wrong. You get that, right? My kid's never wrong, either of them. That's just how it works. I don't know. My kids aren't wrong. They're certainly not while we're screaming by in a chat, right? Maybe down the road. But all right, so this is 2024. It starts tomorrow. This is good. That's right. Righteous Monkey nailed it. Righteous Monkey nailed it. Sorry, Calhoun. That was Dad. See, you know what? Look at this. I'm going to put them here. We'll put those things right here. It's going to be like you as a kid. My hands on the roof of the car. Feeding tube time for my kitty cutie. I want to tell you something. I remember I remember you doing feeding tubes with my cat Alice. I did it on 2 different occasions. It takes love. It really does. But I got mad respect for that. 2024 is going to be our year, people. I mean it. 2024 is going to be like no other year that I've had in my life. I promise you. And it's probably pretty obvious if you've been on the boat for any length of time that this year is going to be a whole lot different than any other year I've ever had. Every single day is a scratch off lottery ticket. I'm not joking, right? I get emails every day from people that say, "Hey, I'd like to have you on the channel," right? We'd love for you to hear your story. I have no lie. I have been contacted by a publisher that would like me to write my life story. Right? These are really exciting times to be the captain of the lifeboat. Once again, none of this means anything to any of you. So this has got to be your year. And if you go back and look at last year's, you can go back and look at a year ago. Everything I've done since I got out is right here in the record. You can go back and look. This is the 3rd New Year's we've done together as a boat. Yeah. This is number 3. Go back and look at the other ones and you can see where I was. You can see where the boat was. We have evolved, and the boat has. Yes, see, look at this. This is the kind of stuff I like to see. I'll be honest with you. I don't think it's going to happen in 2024, but I dig where you're going with this, and I do think it's going to happen. And other people don't. You hear people say, "What's going to happen is this." I think Scientology will survive what's going to happen to Scientology. I do. I believe that Scientology is going to survive what's going to happen to Scientology, but it is not going to survive in how it is. And I think the little guy might end up doing some time. That's a true story. I really believe that little Dave, it's no accident that this guy really is harder to get a hold of than a mafia don. Pirate Tom First Class. Every time I read his name, I want to go ground control to Major Tom. I don't know what it is, but something about reading the voice. Reading that, I hear it. Gets in the ear, makes me want to sing. La Chameleon. Good to see you. Rick Smith, good to see you. The guilt is gone. Wow. How good is that? Good, because guilt is a hump emotion. I'll be really honest with you people. Now, listen. I'm glad someone just said that because this is an important thing. I think we need to talk about this. Let's do this. And I've done shows on this. You should feel bad about the things that you did when you were on dope, right? If you stole from your loved ones to get high, you ought to feel bad about that. You should. This is why we process things. This is why we journal. This is why we work through crap. Because if you start feeling bad about it and you go, "Oh, you know what? Guilt sucks. I'm not going to deal with that." You're going to deal with it. You're going to deal with it for an eternity. When you say it's too much to deal with my guilt, I'm not going to deal with it. What you're saying is, I am going to deal with this forever. You need to sit down with the guilt, right? Lay it out like 4-course meal style and dive into it. Deal with the guilt that you got. Now, if you screwed people over, well, then you need to make it right. You can't always make it right with them. Make it right in your dome. Make it right in your own head. Forgiveness, if you take it back to the original root, right? It comes from to give away. It literally comes from the root to give away, right? So if you're going to forgive yourself on this stuff, give it the hell away. Give it away. Give it away to a higher power. Give it away, give it away, give it away. Now, did you hear that? Were you hearing that when I said that? I rolled it too fast. Give it to a higher power. Give it to a power greater than yourself. You don't believe in a higher power? 2 people would be a power greater than yourself. Come here and talk about it. Go over into one of the other support platforms that we got. When we roll out the new platform in the first of the year, go over there and talk about it. Get it out. Write a letter to the person that you did harm to. If you can't go make it right, then make it right in a letter. There are times that you should not go and make it right. I've told this story many times on the boat, but one of the worst examples of this I've ever seen was a dude that decided to get sober. He's going to stop drinking. And he went and did all of the apologies that he could do down the road to everybody that he felt like he had screwed over. And one of those apologies was to call his best friend and say, "I want to apologize about the Christmas party at your house where I came on to your wife, tried to sleep with her. I'm a lowlife, and my drinking is an issue." And guess what? The wife never told the husband that the best friend tried to sleep with her. He thought He's drunk. I don't want to destroy the friendship. He's just being an idiot, and no harm, no foul. I rebuffed the man's advances. He grabbed my butt, whatever. But what the husband got out of that was, so my best friend tried to have sex with you and you didn't think that that was something you ought to tell me. And it literally destroyed the marriage. Literally, like they never got over it. That was the end of it. I mean, it took another year or so, but that was the end of it. That was it. Guess what, man? That's not effective. That doesn't benefit anybody except the very, very selfish drug addict that wanted so badly to rid himself of guilt that you know what? Screw everybody else. I'm going to say sorry to everybody I did dirt to. Guess what? Don't do that, man. Don't do that. I mean, get rid of the guilt, deal with it yourself, but don't do that. Don't go back and start screwing up lives. Very often, people that don't even talk to us anymore. I'm going to track down someone that doesn't talk to me so that I can say sorry for something that they don't want to talk to me about over. That's just not smart, man. That's not smart. Most likely other issues in that marriage. No, I agree with you, blow drill. There definitely is. But you know what? They didn't need that one. You know what I mean? They didn't need that one. I just think that, yeah, except when to do so would injure them or others is what it says in the 12 steps. But since we don't do 12 steps over here, I thought I would make the point. And I don't think it's a necessity. I'm sorry, I don't. If the person is close enough to you that you still have contact with them, I think it's probably a pretty decent idea to try to let people realize the things that you did and that you know that you did them. But the guilt will eat you. The guilt will eat you alive. It will absolutely destroy you. Like when people say halt, hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. If G isn't in there, man, guilt is the absolute killer of all people trying to get sober. I believe that. I'm sorry, I do. And I believe it because I watch it every single day. One can write apology letters, but never send them. Absolutely. Absolutely. Good morning. I made it despite my 4-year-old's attempt to make my phone a Peppa Pig machine. I don't know what that is. It must be a video game of some kind, though. Ah, Jilbo, what a cool thing to say. You know what? This lifeboat thing is there. It's really funny to me that the federal government is now trying to spin out an agency to deal with connection. Right? Is there something with that that's just really not right? My way of jumping from planes. See, yes, I love it. I thought that was skydiving goggles in your thumbnail. How awesome is it to throw yourself out of a perfectly good airplane? Huh? I mean, you talk about a good time. Whip yourself out of an airplane that nothing bad is happening to. And that, people, is a really, really good time. By the way, I will be jumping out of an airplane in 2024. I will be. The deal that I had to never jump out of an airplane ever again, that one went with the last person that I was with. And that person's not here anymore. So I will be jumping out of an airplane in 2024, as will my degenerate pepper-eating brother. And with any luck, we're also going to get in the vomit comet. Right? Is this the year of the comet? We have been fantasizing about the vomit comet since we were young enough. Right around the time that we saw it for the very first time, we started to fantasize about the idea of what is the vomit comet? Are you my kid? Who are you? The vomit comet is a 747-400, right? This is a very, very large. I'm sorry. 737 says Johnny. I did not. I was under the assumption it was a 747. It is a hollow aircraft, right? It is a completely hollow aircraft. It has padding on the inside of the hollow aircraft. And what it does is it gets up to high altitudes, the 50, 60,000 foot kind of a range. And then they dive very quickly. And when it does that, anything inside the vehicle that is not strapped down will feel zero gravity. Right? Picture an elevator dropping faster than you do. So you float inside the vehicle, right? As it's falling, you get to float. And over the course of the time that you are in the vomit comet, because it does this number a bunch of times. But what do they say? Half an hour or an hour or something like that? It's a long time. You got like 30 minutes or something of zero gravity time. 30. Yeah, 30 minutes. That's half hour of zero gravity is, I mean, how cool is that? Yes, I'm a little disappointed in Spanx as well. I'm a little bummed out about that. I was pretty sure we've had this conversation in our lifetime before. Thank you, Ann C. My internet is really chapping my backside because we're paying a bunch of money for it. Like we really upped. Okay, fair enough, Calvin. But yeah, the internet thing is really driving me nuts, and I'm gonna have to yell at them today because this is the second time that it's happened, and it's not like it's the second time it's happened in 2 years. It's the second time it's happened in a month, and there's been a couple of other issues, so I do need to. Oh, you're right, Calhoun, and you know what, that you're thinking of the power boot competition, which is slightly different. Me and Taz says I have major motion sickness. Perhaps you would like to go with us to the vomit comment. This could be fun. See, it's all fun when the captain vomits. It's fun. When other people do it, it's just well, that poor person. Sky does it this year too. Yes, that's what I said. Jumping out of a plane this year too. Fiona Galbraith says, "Happy New Year, love and blessings to all on the lifeboat. May 2024 bring all of us only happy, joyful times, experiences, and true friends surround us every day." That's a beautiful thing, is it not? The government is putting together an agency to try to figure out how they can get Americans more connected to one another. True story. If you don't find that bizarre, then wow. There goes Ma Scoville. She took off. Didn't know she was leaving. See, if this is really a bizarre concept to me. There are things that the government does not need to put their hands in. Teaching me how to make friends, I promise you, Uncle Sam does not need to teach me how to make friends. Right? We did this as children. We came out of the womb ready to do this. And then we put baggage on, right? Weird baggage as we grow older. You throw on a backpack of guilt. You throw on a backpack of shame, all that BS. And then as you meet people, I'm not going to go over there and introduce myself. Funniest crap, bring your kids with you and watch what happens, right? You'll be in the room staring across at one another while your kids have just met up in the middle of the room and said, "Hey, you want to be a friend?" Nothing holds them back. Not gender, skin color, age, right? Nothing. They don't care who you voted for, who you pray to. We come out pure as hell, man, and the world just friggin' destroys us and turns us into these cynical, disgusting human beings, doesn't it? I want to get back to, hey, how you doing? Can we be friends? I think that's a really cool concept. There are members waiting on the other live chat. There's an other live chat. That was good. That was deleted. Like it really was deleted. Let me see if that's still there. If it is, that's really odd. But maybe somebody could pop in there and tell them, "Hey, what's up? We have a different feed going on." Yeah, no, I don't think. Yeah, I think we're good. Sorry. Fixed it. There you go. That's what Calhoun is for. That's the boy. See, he does things that I can't figure out. That's perfect. That's what my boy's for. Take on me. Why are we doing Take on Me? Take me. Is there a reason? Oh, aha. I gotcha. I told them to go to this chat. Thank you, Drive-In Fan. I really appreciate it. We will have to delete that feed. We are live right now. Jerry, you thought this was a recorded message? No, you are live. You are live in the moment. So we talk all the time as we get closer to the first of the year about these dreaded New Year's resolutions, right? New Year's resolutions are bunk. If you want to lose weight this year, we're going to do shows on weight loss. And I promise you, weight loss is not as difficult as you think it is. It isn't. I promise. I have done the weight loss thing. I lost a lot of weight. I've done the sober thing. Sober thing's a little tougher. I'm not going to lie to you. For me, it was considerably tougher, actually. But we're going to talk about all these things going forward in the new year. I don't want you to think about this crap as, hello, Brenda. I don't want you guys to think of these things as New Year's resolutions, because New Year's resolutions just don't mean anything to us. And words mean things, right? And if you're 50 years old and you've been making New Year's resolutions for 40 years, whether you realize it or not, the term resolution in your mind means I don't really have to do this. I promise. If you don't realize that that happens, think about it logically. If you do the same thing every single year and you fail at it, you're giving that failure a name. That name is resolution, right? Honestly, well, there's not much resolve in resolutions, sadly, in this country or in the world. Read the statistics. Yeah, you're setting yourself up for failure. For real. You want to lose weight? Don't make a resolution that you're going to lose weight. Change habits. Right? Change habits. Habits are easy to change. They really are. To eliminate them is a little bit tougher. But if you change your habits and make good ones, it doesn't take long. It really doesn't, people. Journaling is something that is such a great example. When you start to journal and you start to get into it, the days you don't do it, like you get up and you leave the house and you haven't journaled, it will feel so foreign and uncomfortable to you. I mean, that's what anything habitual should be, right? Think of what it was like when you were in the life. What was it like to not have your drug? Right? That's what it's going to feel like. You can absolutely get to a place in your life when you do not do the healthy things in your life that have become habits. You're going to get that feeling that feels like this is wrong. I gotta go back and do. You know what, Sherry? I'm doing yoga this year too. Do you know that I filmed yoga? I was going to do an intro to yoga video for everybody here, and I said I'm not going to do it in 2 takes. If the poses don't come out good, they don't come out good. I went out and I filmed it, and I was actually really happy as hell with it. But the camera screwed us up. The camera only filmed like 8 minutes of it. It was a 22 or 23-minute long video, and the camera filmed 8 minutes of it. And I just have not been dedicated enough to go back out. It's a lot colder now than it was when I filmed it. But I'm going to do a video. I'm going to do an intro to yoga video, so that the people that want to start yoga this year, no pressure, right? But I'm going to do an intro to yoga video for people that want to try that. I am a firm advocate for yoga, the stretching and the exercise. Not much in the religious aspects to it. I'm not into that. But I do dig because there are people who have very serious. Have I done a video on journaling? Oh, tree hugging Buddhist. I've done a bunch of videos on journaling. I cannot begin to tell you how many of them. There's a ton. Great, Calhoun. I would love you to do that. I would love you to do that. Amy says, hi, I'm new here. I found you through Reese, and I love your chats. You're an amazing support to everyone, Tommy. Amy, what a nice thing to say. Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm glad that you're here. Carnivore. Hey, Susie. Did you see that when she said try carnivore? Try carnivore. Carnivore is amazing. I used carnivore on with my kitty Alice. When Alice was super sick and they had put the feeding tube in her the second time, and they told us that she did not eat because of me, and that no matter what we did when we took the feeding tube back out, she was never going to eat again. We gave her a bunch of that, and carnivore really did wonderful things for my kitty. It really did. I'm a very, very firm believer in that product. Question, Tommy. I have tried to start journaling so many times and inevitably stop for whatever reason and can't seem to stick to it, but I want to. Also, do you read it or do you just write it and leave it be? Oh, I read it. Now I may go 2 months without reading it. If I'm really cruising along and life is good, I might go 6 months without reading it. But when I start to act like a jackass, whether I realize it in myself or whether one of my friends or my family says, hey, Tommy, you're acting like a loser. What's going on, man? Or you're acting strange. I will go back, usually 7 days, and I will read. If I don't find anything in that 7 days that jumps off the page at, boy, this is weird, I go back 7 more days and I read. Inevitably, I will find the point that I journal that I'll go, you know what? This is it. This is where I started my relapse. And this is a big deal because relapse, people, does not mean I pick up the bottle and I drink, or I go and I get a shot of dope. Relapse means I'm no longer moving forward. I'm moving backwards. It can take 2 years of moving backwards to get you to the bar or to get you to the dope man's house, right? It could take 5 years. People can spend a decade in relapse. or they can spend 25 minutes. But there is a phase, right? And the journal is the canary in the coal mine. Thanks, Cal. Who knows? Going for that one my damn self. I found you through AA, Ron, and I just want to thank you. Your videos have helped me in so many ways. You have an amazing platform. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you. I wish you a wonderful 24. Thanks. I am really excited for the lifeboat in 2024. You know, I'm stoked for my life, but it was funny. I was having a conversation with a close friend of mine before we went live, right around the time that I didn't get a video up this morning and I had to do the phone thing. I started texting a friend, and you know, I used to put at the end of every live feed, I would text the very last thing where I would say, I love this boat. And I would leave with that. And I could, right? This is really, we've gotten quite busy. It's a lot more difficult to leave a message in the chat than it used to be. But I really do love this boat. I really do love this channel. I love what we're doing here, man. I really do. And you know what? When you do a lot of videos, somebody asked a question the other day and they said, you know, are you wearing out or something along those lines? Because they said, if I do 2 Zoom meetings a day, I'm exhausted, and we're worn out. I think everybody here is worn out, right? Everybody that has anything to do with the boat currently is worn out. But if you went back to May of last year, I think we were worn out in May, right? I think we were really worn out in May, just doing 2 shows a day. And it was, you know, there's only 10 things I can talk about, people. In all honesty, I mean, aside from Scientology and different stuff I do in true crime or whatever, I mean, within sobriety, there's only a dozen or so topics. Now, there are different variations on the topics, but there are only a handful of them. And you know, when you've done 1,500 videos, you kind of circle through damn near everything. Then all of a sudden, we got about 5,000 people in here that had never been here, and you start to interact with people again, right, in the chat. Not that I didn't interact with everybody, but I know the people that were here in the beginning. I know their life stories. Right? Like I know these people really, really well. And when new people came in, it breathes life into the boat. You know, all of the new people that showed up in 23 really breathed life into the boat. 32 days from a whole year of sobriety. It may be my most joy-filled New Year's. I should hope it is. When the heck could there have been anything better than that? I bet it's going to be your best New Year. Congratulations. How fantastic is that? A whole year of sobriety. People, tell you what, if you have not celebrated a year of sobriety, do you know how many times you have overcome something that every other time in your life drove you to get high? How many times in that first year you have to develop a skill you didn't have, a coping skill that you straight up didn't have? My goodness. Gypsy Daisy, good for you, man. Good for you. I mean it. That is awesome. That is not an easy thing to do, people. That is so many victories. It's not a year, right? It's hundreds and hundreds of little victories, right? And a couple of major ones. I was sober. I was sober 5 years when my dad died. And when they told me I couldn't leave the halfway house to go to his funeral, I was cool to leave the halfway house to go to work, but I wasn't cool to leave the halfway house to go to his funeral. And you know what? 45 days later, I was going to be free anyway. Like, go do whatever you want to do, but they wouldn't let me leave. And I'm not kidding, people. I went up and packed my bags. I did what stupid, Page 2 Tommy did his entire life. I went up and I packed the bag. And on the way out the door, I was going to break a window or two. You know what I mean? Maybe punch somebody. But I was going out and I was going to go to my dad's funeral. But since I was going to go out the front door and break stuff anyway, I was going to get a bag of dope on the way. I'm not kidding. Like, all of this went through my head. And then I sat back down on the bed and went, oh my God, what the hell am I doing? Wait, what the hell am I doing? But that was a pretty major, getting through that one. I remember when that was over thinking, you know what? Bring it. Bring it. That was my best friend on earth. That was my best friend on earth. Bring it. What's going to happen now? Right? I promise you, whatever happens after that one, I'm going to be all right. And I will bet you that Gypsy has put together a really good toolkit in the last 11 months. That's what we do. That's why it's so much friggin' fun to be around people who have gotten sober, right? Every one of them has a million stories where they had to learn to be a different human being in order to not grab that chemical, because other people just have coping mechanisms that are built in from birth, right? We don't. We actually have to develop all of those little tools that should have been second nature, that should have literally been nature, but they're not. So, growing up in 2024, right, to turn this into the year of you. If you are a person that has been walked on, this is the year you don't get walked on anymore. This is the year you stand up to the people that have kicked you around. Maybe this is the year you walk into your boss's office and go, let me break down what I do for you at this place. Right? Let me tell you what I do for you here, because I'm going to start doing it somewhere else if I don't get compensated a little bit better. Maybe that's the year. Maybe it's the year you decided that you're going to drop some weight, right? If you're happy the way you are, fan-freaking-tastic, right? I don't care what size you are. But if what size you have gotten to means that you can't do things that you used to do, or it's cutting down on your quality of life, then guess what? 2024 is the year you have to fix that. I don't care if a couple extra pounds, you don't need to look like a billboard, but you need to be healthy. And if your weight is a health issue, then this year is the year you fix that. And it doesn't matter if you start that tomorrow, right? It doesn't matter, because it's the year that, some people put so much freaking stock in what happens on the first that if by some chance you break that, screw it, right? I'm just going to, I'll put on 25 more pounds in the next 364 days. And we'll try again next year, right? That's a bad format. That is a bad format. This is the year you change, man. You're not a pain in the ass, Bo. This is fun. This is what we do. People like you, Bo, make my job easier. You understand that? Question, not to be a pain in the ass, but could you and Calhoun put a link in the description of this video to your journaling videos? Yeah, Calhoun might be able to do that. Yeah, he's giving me the nod. I have no idea what that means, but I think he could. I mean, I understand the concept. I just don't know that I could figure out how to do it, but I bet he can. You know what? I love this. I love this. And I promise you, my brother gets this one. Like, my brother gets this. I guarantee it. I test drove a car once because I was fighting the cravings. Kept me sober another day. Never bought a car. I get it. I absolutely get it. I really do. I've done things like this my entire life. The honest to God, my entire life, that has been something that I've done and used as a tool. Watch shops. You have no idea how many times a watch kept me, not kidding, gone in and spent 2 hours looking at $45,000 watches so that I could say to myself, man, you're never going to own that thing. If you even considered what you were about to consider, you are never going to own that thing. Wow. Wow. How cool is this? Thank you so much. I really appreciate the generosity. All you have been so generous this year. It's incredible. I love the message. Hope says, good morning, Lifeboat family. As I was journaling this morning, I read about how this past year was huge in me, in my acceptance of my true self, good and bad. We'll have 4 years, February 17th. 4 years. Yeah, we'll have to go back down for this one. 4 years, people. 4 years. Going to be coming up on a leap year of sobriety, right? Good stuff. And I love that you were journaling and acceptance, people. The biggest thing, when I say 2024 is the year that you own it, like this is your year, own it. You start with owning your past, right? Good and bad. Own who you are. Own the things that you've done that you did that were horrendous. Hey, they are just as much a part of you as all of the great things you've done. It's a lot of fun hearing about the great stuff, right? It's not a lot of fun hearing about the crap. I did a lot of crap, right? With prisons and, and all the other stuff that I've done. I did a lot of things that I'm really not proud of, but you know what? I wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here. There wouldn't be 227 people here. I am a result of all of the stupid things that I've done in my life. And so are all of you, right? Come to grips with it. Come to grips with it. Say, this is it. This is what I did. Not my fault. Yeah, the first one might've been, right? But I promise you, no one in their right mind. Fill that out. Right? Go ahead and finish that sentence. No one in their right mind keeps drinking after they get a DWI. No one in their right mind keeps taking pills after their wife says that they're going to leave them, right? No one in their right mind continues to do drugs and alcohol when they know it's making them a bad parent, right? Well, then obviously drugs make us not in our right mind. You wouldn't give your loved ones crap if they were not in their right mind. But you'd crap all over yourself about it for decades after you stopped doing the things that you were doing. This is the year you let go of all that crap. 2024 is the year you put all of that guilt and all of that crap in a box and set it on fire. I mean, seriously, do it literally. Who mentioned Carnivora? I did. I mentioned Carnivora. It's a great, it's for pets. It's a fantastic product. I really think it might have saved one of my kitties once. Carnivora is the name of the product. I said carnivore, but Carnivora. I love this. I love this. You know what that is, people? You know what that is? That is a tool, right? Honestly, that is a tool. My brother Johnny grabs a guitar, right? He grabs a guitar and he sits down and he leaves whatever's going on in this world. Like, honestly, it's like a baby or a young kid watching a cartoon. You know what I mean? Like, he gets myopic to the point that whatever I'm doing around him, he doesn't even know if I'm in the room. That's a beautiful thing. That's a tool. Believe that crap. Two things can't occupy the same space at the same time. That goes for thoughts too, people. So if you have the capacity to sit down at an instrument and for 2 hours become part of that, or if you have the ability to knit, and I'm telling you, I did that in prison, your hands start to go, and you will, I mean, honestly, you will absolutely go someplace else. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was something that I did a lot. I do not regret ever signing up and taking the course that taught me to do that. And I was not particularly good at it. I mean, compared to a lot of the guys in there, I was really bad at it, but I had it killed so much time, people. It really did. And I would read until my eyes hurt and I couldn't read anymore. Like that's a real thing. If you read all day long, you will read until your eyes begin to really start to strain and hurt. And I would be like that. You know, I needed something else to do at that point. You know what? I thought about that. I'm not even joking. I thought about that. It's just that I'll scare that I got to be really careful with the things that I do because you guys have gotten to know me. I saw a comment yesterday that's from somebody that said, I have resisted so much hitting subscribe to your channel. I don't know if it's the bank robbery thing or what it is, but I have resisted so much to hit subscribe. And then they saw me and Reese do a video together and then hit subscribe. But there's something to that, right? Sometimes you see somebody the first time and you go, I don't know. I don't know that I can wrap my brain around this. I don't think this is a channel I can follow. If you show up and I'm knitting and doing yoga and dunking myself in a nice pool and talking about sobriety, they're going to look and go, what the hell is this dude doing? Right? Daniel, I sold watches to a guy in Nevada who collects old sewing machines. And when he told me this, it was absolutely phenomenal. Like I went to his house and there was a machine in every single room. They were hanging from walls, like mounted on walls. They were hanging from ceilings. I'm not exaggerating. I do have stuff that I can show you that I crocheted. And I've showed them in other videos. I'll have to dig them out. I don't know that I've any of them have unpacked since I got to Arizona, but I've worn the hat several times in several videos. One of the hats that I made it's got my you guys probably, I have a tattoo on one of my arms and I tattooed the same symbol on the side of my head, on the side of the hat rather. He had sewing machines mounted on walls. I'm not kidding you. He also had them literally coming out of the ceilings. And he had a really big house. In fact, he was not a watch guy. He only wanted a watch because he was ordering a pocket watch because in one of Singer's ads, there is a guy next to the Singer machine or something, and he's got a pocket watch in his hand. I don't know if the ad said something about time for Singer or something, but the guy wanted a watch that matched this ad. That's how he found me. And I got it for him. So but he was super into the machines. They were everywhere. Well, this is just silly talk. Meredith says, I didn't feel like I would belong here at first because I've not struggled with sobriety, but I realized that this is a place for all struggles. Booyah. Thankful I joined the boat. Well, we're glad that you did, right? And I think that you probably said that better than I have or anyone else has. Johnny Scoville just disappeared. Ready? We're going to get him with a really good joke when he comes back out. But everybody does fit in. That's a beautiful way to put it, right? This is a place where for all struggles, doesn't matter what you're struggling with. I love that. Meredith, thank you so much. That's a great comment. That really is. That's just a great comment. Yeah, and everyone seems to agree. Pirate Tom says, caught you live with Reese last night with the replay crew. Cool. Great conversation, really enlightening. Keep up the great work, Captain Tommy. Thank you, Pirate Tom. I appreciate that. You know what? She is Reese is a very interesting person. There he is, coming out of the closet. Come on, man. How many times you get to work? You knew it was coming, didn't you? He's packing up some hot sauce. Go figure. Johnny's having something to do with hot sauce. Daniel Peeble, glad you're here. So Reese is a lot of fun, right? I really enjoy Reese, and Reese can clown with the best of them. But Reese really is courageous. You know, she's willing to explore stuff about who she is and what makes her who she is with people watching, and that is. I mean, it's one thing to sit and talk about this, right? Pepper sexual. He's out of the closet. It's great. You know something? That's a t-shirt. I got to tell Johnny, that's a t-shirt. It really is. Pepper sexual. That's a great t-shirt. Squirrel, did I upset you? You just stood up angry like. You know how cats are, though. Sometimes a cat just stands up because they need to clean themselves. Or they need to stand up real quick because they need to lick, their right front paw. Squirrel's a very interesting animal. If you're ready for recovery, this is the place, right? There's a lot of truth to that. And I don't think it matters much what that recovery is from, right? This is struggles of all kinds. I'm glad I'm here. I really am. I'm glad that I'm here. This is what I was born to do this. I'm sorry I was. This is what I was supposed to be doing. And, you look back at the past, and if I had done anything differently, then there wouldn't be a lifeboat. And I really think that this is a message that is important. So I'm not at all bummed out at the past anymore. I'm really not, and I think that when you begin to when you come to grips with your past and you start doing something positive because of the things that happened to you, right? I am really confident that all of my errors are leading to a better me. And if you get to that place in life, then it's hard to be bummed out at your past, right? Hope that makes sense. I'm glad we're all here too. And you know what, people? I've gotten so many emails from people that says, I'm so concerned about the boat getting so big that it won't be the boat anymore. You know what? The boat's going to get big. There's just no way around it. But I promise you, it's always going to be the boat. I promise you it is. If I got to do 4 times as many shows so that we spread the audience out, I'll hire enough people to do the shows. We'll do whatever has to be done. We will always keep the family vibe. I promise you. Also, a lot of you have written to me to say the family vibe on so-and-so's channel has gone away, or the family vibe on so-and-so's channel has gone away. And there's a couple of channels that you guys like to mention whenever you send that. And I don't think that the family vibe has gone away on any of the channels. What I think happens is, you may have gotten, it may have been easier to get recognized early on, but you know what? I won't lie to you. The goal is to get as big as possible, right? The bigger we get, the more the message gets out, and the message is real. I mean, you heard what I read to you the other day, right? Science is saying that a lack of connection is like smoking 15 cigarettes a day, right? I mean, that's crazy stuff. It's like having 6. You would be better with 6 mixed drinks a day than you would isolating from society. It's remarkable. I mean, think about it. It's absolutely remarkable. Bo Beat says, been a bartender my whole life. I think seeing addiction from that side of the bar was eye-opening to me. um, many years ago, helped to keep a check on moderation when partying. Well, most of the time. Well, you know what's funny, Bo, is that I think there's something to that. And what I mean by that is this: you don't have alcohol abuse disorder. If you did, you would not have been able to keep a check, right? That's number one. But you could still drink way too much without having alcohol abuse disorder. So I do think that what you're saying is absolutely a fact, that you have been affected by that and it kept you from overindulging. And whatever Calhoun's doing, he's happy as hell. I remember this look from when he was a kid. He has a very happy look on his face actually right now. I'm digging it. I'm actually digging it. Every drink, every drug, every bridge burned, every conviction brought me to that day. Wouldn't change a thing. You know what? I'm sorry. I love that. I really do. I love that. If I could go back and start over somehow, I would not change much, knowing what I know now. It's just the way it is. That's right. If you don't want to tell your story, write your story down. It's not any less important than anyone else's story. And you know what, people? You may think your story is boring as hell. And then you meet people and you start telling them the story and they go, oh man, you had a fascinating life. You don't know. Most people think their life is boring until they talk to a bunch of people who tell them otherwise. I promise you, I'm astounded that people want to take my life and make it into a book. Astounded. And I'll be really honest with you, I don't think I'm capable of it. But there are people that want me to do it. Like we've actually been contacted by a publisher. It's like a real publisher. It's a publishing house you've heard of. Thank you for stating the fact that not every abuser. That's right. No, I mean, then not every abuser is an addict. I promise you. I know that people can't stand that concept, but it's the truth. When I watch any other YouTube channels, I don't have chat showing, but in here I always have the chat on because it's such a positive community. Wow, says a lot about the crew of the boat, doesn't it? For real, it says a lot about the crew of the boat. And thank you. I started it to be sure, but you know what? I've got really good wrenches, and the people that come here, once the early crew created a vibe, and they didn't allow anybody to be here that wasn't a part of that vibe. And I think that really trainee human. I love it when you're around. Good to see you, man. Happy New Year. Cruise ship. Yeah, we need several. That's what we need, a couple of cruise ships. I want to be a Commodore. I want to be Commodore Tommy Scoville. I made a live show. Woohoo! Peace and love to the boat and her crew. Really looking forward to 2024, living a much better life sober. How good is that? Living a much better life sober. Boy, oh boy, my kid's doing a fist pump in the air right now. He's liking it. Admiral Tommy, I'll take it. Hello. How are you? Good to have you here. I haven't thought about that. I only have chat on for your channel too. Well, isn't that nice? Queen of Awkwardness, good to see you. So, no, Seventh Son is not here. You're right. But that may have something to do with the fact that he probably assumed that since there was not the morning boat. But yeah, I will reach out to Seventh. He's in my 5. So I will be checking in with Seventh, I promise. Was that a wrench request? As far as wrench requests go, boy, oh boy, does it make people angry when you start talking about wrenches and wrench requests, and it's just really, really hard to make that happen. Hey, Ann C, look at this. Calhoun, put that up. I want to tell you something. This has occurred to me. Yeah. This has occurred to me. This has absolutely occurred to me. This is in our future. This is in the future. There will be, I promise you, there will be a cruise at some point. Oh, no, absolutely it would. Poof 911 says, a book about your life would have to include AA run. Oh, it would. I want to tell you something, people. I may have done a bad job at this. So let me try to see if I can do a better job, because and then this didn't remind me of this, Poof. I actually have this in my notes from yesterday, believe it or not. And that's the truth. But I don't think I do a good job of articulating my why I'm so hell bent on the Scientology thing, but it would be a part of my. It would absolutely be a part of my story. I can't begin to tell you how much of an effect that had on me. Right? I mean, I really meeting the Jane Does and being out there for that and being a part of this just yeah being a part of this by accident I assure you but being a part of this has been life changing. It really has. It's been life changing. It's changed how I view things in a lot of ways. Meredith, I love that. Meredith says, I was in pain management nurse for many years. Thank you for advocating for those that need their pain meds to function. The shame and the embarrassment my patients felt broke my heart. And it's just not right. It's just not right. Right? Cool. Boston Sarah found me from Surviving the Survivor. Love them over there. Love Surviving the Survivor. Love them, love them, love them. I really do. I love Joel. I love his mom. They're just, I love his wife. They're just a really, really great group of people. It is a family channel. Believe it or not, it really is. Yeah, Taekwondo. When you meet people like Jane Doe's, I can't imagine working with them. I don't know that I'm strong enough, to be honest with you. I think I'd probably snap and go end up shooting somebody. Just keeping it real. I think that's probably what would happen to me. I don't know that. I don't know that I could do it. I don't know that I could do it. I really I don't know that I could. You know, the Scientology auditor thing. I love what he's doing. I really do. I don't watch much of it because I find it uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I find it. I love that he's doing it. I'm not entertained by it, and I literally love it. I don't want him to stop. I hope a ton of people watch him. I hope he gets 10 times bigger in size, because if he does, right, even if he just stays at this size, you know how many copycats are going to pop up? I mean, this dude's pulling down 20 grand a month doing what he's doing. For real. If you look at his views, he's doing about 20 grand a month. He might even be doing more now. I haven't looked at him in a minute, but you're going to get a lot more people that are going to do the exact same thing because it pays. So if you're in another city, you know what? Go do it. Right? If there's an org in your city, you need a phone. That's it. That's what you need. A phone and a YouTube channel. Start getting paid. People will watch you. You want to go harass the Church of Scientology. Trust and believe. You've already seen it work. They will watch you because people like it. What are my thoughts on legalized drugs? This is such. I've done, I think, 4 shows on this, maybe 5. So if you ever really want to see like super deep in depth of me talking about this and giving you reasons of why I think what I think. But when I started the lifeboat, I was so anti legalization. I was anti decriminalization. I was against the legalization of weed when I started the lifeboat. My thoughts have changed 180 degrees. I think that the only hope that we have is in legalized drugs, and I do not mean decriminalized. Decriminalization is an issue, and the reason that decriminalization is such an issue is because we're going to be bringing in the government, right? And when the government gets involved in anything, it does not seem to work well, right? It seems to screw us up big time. They have not done a particularly good job in regulating alcohol. They really haven't. I mean, there's been, do you know how many millionaire families we still have in this country that help run this country, right? Who got rich off bootlegging, right? When we get into anything where there is legalization or decriminalization and the government gets involved, we're screwed. I would like to see all of it legalized, every single bit of it. Let it be sold everywhere. The Rusty Glider. I don't think I've ever said hello to you. I have realized this is the first channel I check. I don't chat much, but I listen. My stepson is an addict and my husband is too. I'm sorry that that is happening to you. If I'm really sorry that that's happening to you. You can always reach out, sober at myyahoo.com. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm about 3 weeks behind, but reach out to me and put in the header that what's happening with son and child, and I will let's if you reach out if you need. Tommy, I created the channel The Bipolar Express, set up a new email and everything. Maybe I'll work on it some more. I have my doubts, but you never know. Well, I had my doubts. My brother had his doubts, right? Everybody has their doubts. Here's what I would say. If your goal is to help one person, right, then you can't fail. You put that channel up, you will help somebody. I promise you will. My goal is to help at least one person. I wanted to get 6. Bipolar Express.
Oh,
it's a freaking
love it.
Unbelievable name.
Love the name.
Love the name. I really do. It's a great name. And we have someone saying, "Hey, do I search that channel by?" I will happily come on that when you get it ready to roll. Have me on. I would love to talk to you. And if the small amount of notoriety that my name has got will help your channel, I will be more than happy to do that. And I will I extend that to everybody. If your channel helps connection, I would love to come on it. All right. Absolutely you can. Free hugging Buddhist. Absolutely you can. Now, I may email you back and say, I'd like to have you come on and tell that story, right? If you want it, please put in there if you're willing to have your story told, right? Sometimes people want their story told, but they don't want to be the one to tell it. That's fine. If that's what your get down is, that I'm cool with that too, right? So whatever, but do put that in there. Yeah, I agree. Sorry. Hello, Tommy and crew. I'm thankful for finding the boat this year. It's taught me to keep the connection with my son. Tammy, you will not regret that. I promise you, you won't. But there are people who write to me every day that regret disconnecting from people. But you never regret keeping the doors open. I promise. Oh no, man, Rick, that sucks. Because it's been a mess in Virginia. They've shut down many dispensaries. Then they have reopened. They were pulling people over coming out of them on the Tennessee Virginia line. Lovely. You know what I mean? Like this is something I struggle with too. We're a stupid freaking country, right? Right down the street from where I live right now, there's probably 10 dispensaries, but it's illegal in the federal government. The federal government says weed's illegal. The state I live in says you can buy it. How is that cool? How does that make any friggin' sense? Right? Crapper, get off the pot. If you are a government of 50 states and the majority of those states think that something should be legal, I don't understand how it can't be. That's a stupid freaking thing, right? Dumb. And the vast majority of people, by the way, in the United States, do not believe drugs should be illegal anymore. True story. They don't think it should be wide open either. But everybody in America thinks that we need to reevaluate our drug policy. The second largest budget in our government is the war on drugs. And we've not even won battles, much less the war. Can you post a link to the Bipolar Express? I would like to join. You know what? Can we get a link up to the Bipolar Express, please? Pennsylvania still has a $7.50 minimum wage. You know what's terrifying? That's terrifying, to be sure. That's terrifying. But if we could wave a magic wand, and we could make the minimum wage $20 an hour, that would be awesome, right? But you know what they would do? They would say, "I'm not hiring anybody that doesn't have a college degree. If I'm going to pay them $20 an hour, I'm not hiring a 16-year-old kid. I'm going to pay somebody that I'm going to get $20 an hour out of." And what usually happened was those really small minimum wage jobs were usually the people that, high schoolers. And so when they passed those laws, sadly, the people that get hurt are kids, minorities, right? Because those were the people that used to originally take, those jobs up. We have to redo the entire system. We got to start from the ground up. I mean, sadly, we really do. We got to start from the ground up because the system has gotten so out of whack. People, I could do a 2-hour show and explain to you how the stock market works, how the stock market works from someone who was the president of a publicly traded company. What is legal is disgusting. It's disgusting. Our politicians, I mean, you think that they bust their ass to stay in Congress so hard for that $200,000 a year job? It's the only place in the world where you get a job making 200 grand a year, right? You work for 5 years, and when you leave, you got $35 million in your bank account, and they all do it. And why wouldn't you? It's not against the law, right? I mean, that's your payout. You become a elected official in our country. The payout's not the paycheck. The payout is everything about every business decision that's going to be made ahead of time, and it gets really good to be an excellent, right, day trader. You can become a whoop-ass day trader in about 15 minutes if you know exactly what's going to be happening to all of these companies based on laws and restrictions. And yeah, it's just holy hell, people. I'm telling you, I could, if I talked to you about it for 2 hours, it would drive you insane. Or you'd think I was lying. There you go. Just subscribe to the Bipolar Express act. See that right there? There's your link, people. So let's get that squared away there. And it starts. Be careful. You just might end up a YouTuber. Huh? What do you think, Squirrel?
That's how it starts.
That's how it starts.
It's a slippery slope, people.
It's a slippery slope, people. Pretty soon you're putting up videos.
I've seen it 1,000 times.
Sorry?
I've seen it.
I've seen it 1,000 times. We have a really, really broken system. We have a broken system. And if you ask me, the system is broken because when they put it together in the first place, we got a whole bunch of people that were not politicians. They came together and drew up the greatest concept ever for a government. And then sadly, politicians took over. If we went back to the founding fathers and said, see that dude over there? He's a politician. They would go, the hell does that mean? Right? What is a politician? Yeah, I know, right? I'm sure the vast majority of people here probably could go on that rant. Mountain Girl, I agree with you. Hey, Rolling Stone, here's the good news. If that's not it, we're going to be back here tonight, right? Why don't we make sure we have it all set up, Rolling Stone, and I'll make sure that that I promote it. Okay, you got nothing to worry about. I promise. So let's get it all squared away for the next one, and Calhoun will be ready to put the link up, and we'll go nuts. That sound about right? State offices, vouchers in the days of founding fathers. It was a service you did for the country, right? Yeah, and then you went back to work, right? I mean, there's a very famous story of them trying to make our first president into a king. Right? They voted unanimously to make him king. And he came back out and said, what is wrong with you people? Seriously. That stuff, what's his name, is growing to make rope out of. Have you been smoking it? See that? Yeah. See that? I worked in a weed joke there, Calhoun. It was an early weed joke. Yeah, I mean, for real. Yeah, come on back tonight, Rolling Stone. Nobody's gonna forget about you, brother. I promise. Or sister. I have no idea. I'm so bad at this, people. Truthfully, Rolling Stone. Yeah, I don't know. You guys don't help though. You should have to put a gender up somewhere. And if I've answered 7 of your emails, I apologize, but I've answered. You got a hate mail for putting "Hey guys" in the title?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
You wouldn't believe it. It was special.
Botticelli We got a Botticelli chick here. Hi, Tommy. I finally made a live chat. Love all of you. Wishing everyone a happy new year and wish you all things beautiful. Well, that's a nice one, isn't it? Wishing you all things beautiful. What a lovely. That's a heck of a New Year's salutation right there. Wishing you all things beautiful. Absolutely dig that. So I will be putting up another one this afternoon to be sure, and more than likely, and I mean really more than likely, I'm going to be live on the other channel doing my my wrap up.
I answered to dude, he says.
What's that?
Rolling Stone, I answered to dude.
Answer to dude. There you go. Not hey guys. Yeah, no, I know, right? No, right? I will also be over on the other platform for all of you who happen to believe what I believe. I'll be doing a wrap up for that as well. But I will be here today, back on the boat. So do me a favor, look for me. It's the end of the year. My husband and I watch daily, but this is our first live. Wow. Hello to you and your husband, man. I've reactivated. This is really funny. I've reactivated the White Snake Jacket Recovery Team. Sweet. That's the spirit. And Bo Beats needs to be removed. Bo Beats says, Calhoun, if your dad's paying you a decent wage, if not, I'll send you my Teamsters. Okay, that's it. It's a wrap. We're done. All right. Now that we've got on to Calhoun's wages, that's the end of the show. I am Captain Tommy Silva. And this here is a cat in a basket.
Like you've never seen her
In all of her glory. He's not at all happy that I'm transporting her in the seated position. Perfect posture, right? She was doing her you know that all of my relatives in Egypt were worshipped pose. She does this quite often. She's actually quite an arrogant cat. She's doing that pose as we speak. See, you can only see the backside because that's how this thing works. And now she'll try to step on the computer and turn it off because that's usually how it ends. All right, people. I will see you on the next one. Thanks, squirrel. Told you she was going to do that.